It's 2018, and Ubisoft is at the height of its success. The company's stock is trading at a solid €100, an all-time high. But no one could have predicted the downfall that would follow over the next 6 years. Today, in 2024, Ubisoft's stock has dropped by nearly 90%, down to just €12. In this video, we'll dive deep into Ubisoft's rise and fall. How did it happen? And what does the future hold for this once great gaming giant? Let's get into it. To understand how Ubisoft fell into this crisis, we need to go back to 1984. 5 brothers from Brittany, France, started a small business selling computer accessories. This quickly evolved into a video game distribution company, and in 1986, Ubisoft was officially founded. That same year, they released their first game, Zombie, an action-adventure title that became a big hit. Ubisoft quickly expanded, opening new studios in Paris, Bucharest, and Montpellier. The real breakthrough, however, came in 1995 with the release of Rayman. From that point on, Ubisoft was no longer just a small developer, they had become a globally recognized company. Following the success of Rayman, Ubisoft went public in 1996. This brought in a lot of capital, and Ubisoft used that money to acquire several studios and popular game franchises. They bought Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, The Settlers, as well as studios behind games like Far Cry, Trackmania, Anno, and Prince of Persia. Between 2004 and 2012, Ubisoft experienced a golden age. They gave their developers enough time to focus on quality, and players loved them for it. Another major milestone came in 2007 with the release of Assassin's Creed. The game was a massive success, and the sequel, Assassin's Creed 2, became even bigger. Ubisoft was writing a new chapter in gaming history. In 2012, Ubisoft launched Far Cry 3, a game that was considered a groundbreaking achievement in open-world design. But this was also the turning point for Ubisoft. From this point onward, Ubisoft's strategy began to change. Instead of continuing to innovate, they started playing it safe. Their major franchises like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry received sequel after sequel but without significant changes. Ubisoft began relying on copy-paste gameplay, where only the setting changed. Players started to notice the formula, but sales were still strong. Far Cry 5 even broke records, selling 5 million copies in its first week. Even though the games were selling well, Ubisoft's problems were mounting. The company became increasingly focused on microtransactions, cosmetic items, and loot boxes. Players, who had already paid $60 or $70 for a game, were being funneled into in-game stores designed to extract even more money. The tipping point came in 2019 with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The game was empty, uninspired, and dull. It was clear that more time had been spent on monetization than on gameplay. Players felt betrayed, and Ubisoft's reputation started to crumble. But it wasn't just their games that were causing trouble. Chapter 5: Internal Struggles and Vivendi. Starting in 2015, Ubisoft faced a hostile takeover attempt by the French media conglomerate Vivendi. By 2018, Vivendi had acquired nearly 30% of Ubisoft's shares, raising alarms within the company. Yves Guillemot, Ubisoft's CEO, fought back, warning that a takeover would destroy the creativity and independence of the company. Fortunately, Vivendi decided to sell its shares in 2018, allowing Ubisoft to remain independent. But the internal struggles didn't end there. That same year, reports surfaced about a toxic workplace culture, including allegations of sexual harassment and misconduct. Several high-ranking executives were forced to leave, and Ubisoft's image took a significant hit. Chapter 6: Creative Decline. Since these scandals, it seems like Ubisoft has lost its creative focus. New games like Immortals Fenyx Rising had potential but failed to leave a lasting impression. They were solid but lacked the spark that makes a game truly memorable. Ubisoft is now more focused on short-term profits than on innovation. Microtransactions are everywhere, and many players feel that Ubisoft no longer makes games for them but for maximizing revenue. Recently, Ubisoft's CEO made headlines by saying that players should get used to not owning their games. This statement did not sit well with the gaming community, further fueling skepticism. Chapter 7, An Uncertain Future. So, what does the future hold for Ubisoft? It's unlikely that the company will go bankrupt. They're too big and own too many valuable franchises. But without major changes, Ubisoft will continue to lose relevance. Maybe it's time for Ubisoft to go through a phase of stagnation to refocus on what made them great in the first place. After all, companies that create gaming history often reap both critical and financial rewards. Outro, and now, it's your turn. What was your last positive experience with a Ubisoft game? Do you think they can bounce back? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks for watching and see you next time.